Okay.
Butch Ramik, 9711 Monroe Street, Taylor. Soon we will have an election coming up, and recently, and I didn't bring it with me, we received something in the mail in reference to the treasurer's office. And I think a lot of people are misinformed because the piece that we got is one thing, but we really haven't heard from the city on the stance of the city and some of the reasoning. And I think maybe it would be a good idea if we could get a little bit of input, maybe from Mr. Bezour, being that he did do the study on this, and have the facts maybe for us, that it's something that maybe the citizens should hear on why this.
There wasn't necessarily a study. There was observations by myself dating back to 2011, when our full-time treasurer at the time retired. And really since 2011, the city has gone back 8-9-month stretches where we did not have a treasurer operating in the city of Taylor. I think we went 9 months the first time, and what happens is the city still has to operate. And in order to do that, we have to dole out functions and responsibilities to other people and to other departments that were previously handled by the treasurer. So we've created a situation where we've taken away a vast majority of the responsibilities from the treasurer's position, and we're now paying other people and other departments to do that work. After that 9-month stretch, we had another 12-month stretch where we were paying a treasurer who was living in Florida doing the job. We basically had a full-time treasurer living in Florida, and again, no disrespect to her. I served with her on the Police and Fire Pension Board, the General Employee Pension Board. Good person, retired to Florida. And the fact that you can run a city for 9 months without a treasurer, or run a city for 12 months with a treasurer in Florida, speaks to what is required of the treasurer. And so I've got to the point, and when we talked about this in March, we talked about this in April, this council, the majority of this council voted in April to say, isn't there a better way to serve the residents of Taylor? If we've stripped all these responsibilities from the treasurer, why continue to pay full-time wages when we can better utilize those tax dollars? And the idea is to take the tax dollars that we're currently paying a full-time employee, you still vote on a treasurer, you still have a right to an elected official, but take that money and use it in a manner that will improve the services that we provide to residents. For instance, right now, almost every day of every week we close that treasurer's office. We might close it for lunch, we might close it if there's vacations. We close down during the day at the point when residents are coming in to do city business. And, for the amount of money that we're putting into that office, that shouldn't be the case. So in my opinion, and I think the majority of this council's opinion, we could take the same tax dollars that are being utilized and improve the services to residents without eliminating anyone's right to vote. And I think that's good. And what I tried to stress in March and April, and what I would stress tonight, is that this isn't an attack on our current treasurer. I started my observation in 2011. It's a fact that we went 8 or 9 months without a treasurer. It's a fact that we had a treasurer living in Florida. It's a fact that we've had to take a lot of those tasks and responsibilities and pay someone else to do them. And it's a fact that we haven't brought anything back into that office. I'm simply saying we've organized to the point where the expectation of that position isn't great. Other people are being paid to do it. Let's take that money and better service the residents of Taylor.
Thank you. If I may, Madam Chair, just to get maybe some input, I'd like to with your permission, I'd like to be able to ask the treasurer a couple of questions that maybe that we don't know about. Maybe he can explain some things to us.
I'll leave that up to the treasurer.
I'm fine, I can talk to you afterwards, or no?
Yeah. Well, I'd like to ask you now, because I think the public needs to know how you stand on this, because what it's going to do basically is it's going to, Mr. Bezour said, it's going to save the city money, and we also hope that the citizens will continue to get the service that they deserve. Now, I fully understand that the jobs of the treasurer through the years have been taken from the treasurer. Now, I don't blame you, but the other past treasurers have allowed jobs to be taken, and never stood up to get the jobs back because they're sitting on their butt, okay? And I
understand
do know
what
for a
you're
fact
saying.
that many did.
I understand what Mr. Becerra was saying as well. When I first got elected, I did sit down in the mayor's office, asked about